Hello everyone. It's Carlin here again. And I thought, because I made mini mugs and then I made the mushrooms, I thought, why not just continue on with more ornaments for this month? I've got lots of ideas for the new year, or lots of things that I want to try anyway. And I went a little bit crazy on Black Friday. So, I have a lot of new glazes that are on the way. Like somebody really should have reined me in. Anyway, that just means more videos for you guys. Anyway, today I'm going to show you, because again, just like the mushrooms and just like the mini ornaments, these are really simple. I'm going to show you how to make my little Christmas trees, little 3D Christmas trees. I don't know if they're really fun and they're really simple, and you probably have everything that you need at home. Plus, these can also be made with air dry clay, just like any of the ornaments that I've shown in the last couple videos. They all can be made with air dry clay as well. But yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so what we need is quite simple. I've rolled this out already, rolled my slab out already. If you don't have a slab roller, I've mentioned these a million and one times. I use them for pretty much every project I do, unless it's just a cup that doesn't need a handle or rolling or anything like that. But I rolled my slab to 5 millimeters. Those are the guides that I used. You need, obviously, a scratcher for slipping and scoring. I use a needle tool. You'll need a brush of some kind for your slip, water, and a sponge. You will also need some nichrome wire hangers if you choose to make these into an ornament, like a hanging ornament. And then of course you will need a Christmas tree cutter. You will need one for this project to make it look 3D. You do need one that is symmetrical on either side, as well as some cornstarch. So the reason I use cornstarch is you can also use saran wrap so that your cutter doesn't stick. But because you want these to look I'll use this as an example. Okay. So this ornament right here, I don't know if you can see this, but when you use saran wrap, your edges get rounded, which looks nice if that's the look you're going for. But because you're using two pieces and you're cutting them in half, this rounded piece looks different than this piece. So each of your pieces looks different, if that makes sense. And if that doesn't bother you, then it's fine. Like if this is hanging in the tree, you don't notice it, but I notice it because that's how my brain works. So anyway, now we're going to use some cornstarch. So basically I just have a big fluffy brush, and this is all I'm doing. Now you don't need a lot, you just need a little bit. So what you'll need to do is you'll need 2 of these for each ornament. And just be mindful, because clay does have a memory, when you're pulling them out, that you don't bend them and skew them too much. Okay, there we go. So now you have your 2 pieces. Now, one piece will stay exactly the way that it is. You won't touch it at all. The other piece, you need to cut it in half. So all I do is I just take my needle tool and I just lightly mark half, and then I cut it in half. And it's as simple as that. Okay. So then what you're going to want to do is, I like to soften my edges. Before I attach everything. So you can just do it with your fingers. Just if there's any cutting marks from the cutter or anything like that, I just want to soften them up. It just makes it a little bit easier. And you don't have to do this right now. You can definitely do it all at once, but I just like doing it right now. And then same for this one. Now, because I want them to stand, I also will take the bottom of my full piece and just give it a little squish so that it stands up on its own. Then I'm going to mark the middle. I'm going to take my scratcher and I'm just going to lightly scratch the middle, because your piece is going to go right in the middle on both sides. And you may as well scratch both sides at the same time. And then you're going to scratch here, which is the flat side of your cut piece. Again, you might as well do both sides at the same time. So then I apply slip here so that I make sure that they pretty much just goes where I need it to be. And again, I'm always heavy with the slip because I find it just gives it a better connection. So then you have this piece and your piece with the slip. I just stand up my regular piece and I attach my half piece and there it is. Okay, so then you go ahead and you do that with the exact same way with the second piece. So same thing, you just leave it standing and you go ahead and look above and you'll see that both sides match up, or if they don't, you can adjust them. And there you go. So now that is basically the hardest part, essentially. So now you just want to let that sit, because I'll show you if you can see. Right? So now you just want to let this sit, let the slip set up for a little bit, and I will be back in probably just a few minutes, and I'll show you how we finish it. So it has been just a few minutes, but as you can see, we've hardened up just a little bit. So all I'm going to do is take my slip brush and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to smooth out all those connections. I'm really going to make sure that it's pushed right in there and that it's smoothed right out. And up at the top here, you're going to want to make sure that you really smooth it out so you don't see that connection. But there's another little way to do that too. But let's just get this smoothed out first. So you do that on all four of the piece, or all four of the sides. And be careful not to like bend your pieces, because if you haven't waited till they're leather hard, like these are a little bit on the softer side than I usually do them at, but they're pretty durable. and I wouldn't make them any thinner than 5 millimeters, just because you may run the risk of them drying a little bit too quickly and then having the problem of them cracking. Because you do want to let these dry slowly as well. Just like with anything that has any connections, you want to make sure that you dry it slowly. So now I have all my connections smooth, but because I have canvas, I just have these little canvas marks. So I'm just going to go in with my sponge and just clean them up a bit. It'll take off any of the cornstarch that's left. Not that that's a huge deal if you don't have any marks or anything and you have the cornstarch on there, that's not going to hurt anything. But I just want to take some of that off. And they don't have to look perfect because you will be glazing everything too, so that does hide a bit. And then for the bottom, I just like to make sure that I smooth it out just like you did the rest of the pieces. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. Okay. So, as you can see, it stands perfect, which is what you want. And then the very last step is taking one of your high fire wires. Now these are the same wires that I used in the mushroom tutorial. Now you can even use these if you aren't doing, I'm sure you can use these with air dry clay as well, but yeah, these are just the wire hangers. They stick right into the clay. So what I like to do, because you have your, so here, this one is the main piece and these two are your connectors. What I like to do is put my hook into where the two connectors are. I don't know, it's hard to see, but where the two connectors are. And just push it down. There you go. So that is your 3D tree. And honestly, that's it. All right, so that is how we make the 3D trees. Like I mentioned, they are super quick, super easy, and a really fun project that you can add as a gift or you can put on your own tree. They're super cute and they're a really fun project just for something simple and something quick and easy. Now, when I'm done this, I will cover these for at least 2 days. They need a little bit of time to mesh together, but I am always erring on the side of caution. So I always dry everything longer than you probably need to, but that's just how I roll. Anyway, I let them dry quite well. Then I bisque them to 04. Now, obviously if you're using air dry clay, don't have to bisque them. They'll be ready in a day or two. And then I glaze them. And I have a couple examples of different ones like this one. I used is cactus, a spectrum cactus. I don't think I mentioned this, but this is Plainsman 340S that I'm using. And I put a brown engobe on all of the bottoms. So like it looks like they have a little stem. And I think cactus was my favorite green by far. It was, yeah, it really was the best green. And then I used one, it had micro jade. Now I find that micro jade doesn't do the best on speckled clay, but it's just something different. I also did one in nori green. Now this one, I definitely underglazed it. So I should have done a third coat in nori green, but next time, I guess. And then my last example is I have, of course, Amico's Snow, because it is my absolute favorite on a speckled clay. And like all of them, I have a brown engobe on all the bottoms so that it looks like I hung them and that I finished them like that, but I didn't. You're able to stand them up and glaze them fully, and they don't take up that much room. You can add them to pretty much anything and they fill up all your space so you're most efficient. I also did one in green jasper, but I don't have an example. So I'm hoping that this one will be my green jasper one because I loved it so much that I wish I would have made more. So that's what that was for. But yeah, that's it. That's how simple they are. They are so quick and so easy. And I'm not going to show you how to glaze them or anything like that in this video, obviously, because if I did, you wouldn't have enough time because I wouldn't have enough time to make them, do them, show them to you, and then get it out to you. So I hope you guys have fun making these. This is just how I do it. I know there are multiple different ways of doing all these little ornaments on here, but this is just how I do it. So if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below and I will answer them as best I can. Otherwise, I hope everyone's having a great day and I will see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.